So you had asked me about the homelessness too, and
Yeah.
yeah, we kind of went off on
No, I
on a
think it was
tangent
good
on
stuff
the
we were
first part.
sharing, though. It was really good stuff.
Yes, yes, I agree. Yeah, so how that happened, and it's stupid because I should have learned from the first time. So I had business partners, and when we first opened up the gym, not this one, I had a gym in a different part of Rhode Island, and they put up $33,000 unsecured. Now we did it on a handshake, right?
Wow.
We built a gym, we got the equipment, we got all the stuff, the permits and licenses. We had to install a new bathroom to bring it up to code and all that other stuff. But we did all of that work together. So we're gonna fast forward to February of 2015, where they come in with the written agreement, and so I'm thumbing through it. And then as I thumbed through, I was like, this doesn't fully reflect what we discussed. I said, because they were supposed to get 40% equity until we repaid the initial investment, and then it was going to drop to 20% for the life of the business. And he's like, yeah, he's like, don't worry about that. He's like, this is just to make sure that you and Kelly don't try to walk away without paying us. And it made sense because, like I said, they put up the 33 grand and they co-signed the lease. So, like, if I walked away, they were on the hook for like 70 grand. So it's like they took that risk with me. I had no reason
Mm,
to not believe them,
sure.
So
I could see that.
just wanted to preface, like, I had no reason to. So anyway, so we fast forward a year and a half, and it was October of 2016 where I had said to them, so this next month, this next payment is going to bring us current, and then the equity drops. And they're like, what do you mean the equity drops? I was like, don't mess with me. I was like, you guys said when you got repaid, I said, I would never agree to give up 40% for the entire life of the company unless you gave me like 500 grand. Then I would give you that much, but not for 33,000. So anyway, that turned into a whole 18-month thing. And we got through that. And I should have known not to take people at their word. Okay. So now that we move into it, I'm in a different situation now. And I was at this gym for 5 years. Now, I've seen other people come and go, and I saw the way the owner treated these other businesses, but he never did that to me, right? So after 5 years, I thought, all right, we'll be okay. We got through the COVID times, and I did get behind on rent with him some, because again, we weren't doing classes,
Yeah,
and so
totally.
his
Yeah.
mindset was, well, my lease isn't stopping. Why should your rent stop? I'm like, well, I'm not using the facility, and
Yeah.
still we didn't have a written agreement. So now I'm trying to rebuild, but just things were just moving slow. Like, from having my own place to sharing again, it just was not ideal, and it was really tough to build up the PM classes there. So digging out of the hole was tough. So he also manages. Well, he owns a standalone gym. So I was like, all right, well, who's running that place? And so I went and did a walkthrough, and nobody's running that place. Like, it needed an overhaul. So I was like, how about this? Like, how about I take control of that location. I'll run my classes out of there, but I'll implement a program there that will generate more than what I owe you. And he agreed. And again, I should have got it in writing. And then once we reached that point, we were actually going to merge the businesses, because I'm over the business part at this point. So we were going to merge, and then he was just going to cut me a check each week. And so it sounded good on paper. So we fast forward a few months. I have the place right where I want it. Memberships are coming in. I implement the programs. And by June, I have already generated what I owed them. And so now I'm texting him. We're having meetings about merging and the pay structure, what that's going to look like. And then he's just like, just dragging his feet on making it happen. I'm like, we're ready. Like, the situation was fine, because I'll give him credit. He didn't micromanage me at all. It's like I had free reign to run this place any way I wanted to. And
Nice.
so the last link was I needed to get paid, right? So part of that deal too was, because like RBF Fitness was my gym. So part of the deal was I would run that location, but I would not actively build RBF. So
Mm.
like that, so I was good. I was to build up that business. So as I started losing people, like my money, because people don't join the gym forever, right? So as I
Right.
lose people, my income is getting lower and lower and lower, and now I'm starting to tap into savings and all that. But because I'm a forever optimist to a fault sometimes, I just believed that this situation was going to work out. I was like, so like once he starts paying me, we're fine. That's the last link. I can catch everything up, and life will be good. So then, at the gym, looking out the window, see a tow truck come in, and it takes my car. Okay,
Oh.
so that was the first step. Car is gone. Right. I text him like, I just lost my car. I'm like, can we speed up on this merger here? A couple weeks later, I get an eviction notice. Right. So now I'm like, things are getting like really real here. I'm like, I have nowhere to go. I drained my savings. I maxed out my credit cards. I'm like, this is not cool anymore. And I went through and I ran the numbers. Right. I had generated over $85,000 in that 10-month span. Okay. I think I owed him about 15 or so. So I generated far more than what
Mhm.
was owed. I tripled the membership. The place is cleaner than ever. The members are happier than ever. And it's like, why wouldn't you take care of that person that's making that happen for you? It's like you don't even
Mhm.
have to set foot in this place. And so now I get the 48-hour notice from my landlord. And to his credit, he did give me 6 extra weeks. Cause I was like, dude, I'm in dire straits right now. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do. And I get it. It's your house. You got to do what you got to do, for himself. And so I called Kelly. I was like, I need you to take the little kids because we were doing 1 week on, 1 week off. Because like where we both lived was central to where they went to school. So I was like, they're gonna have to come and stay with you for a bit. I was like, just don't ask questions. Just please, I'll drop them off. And then I sent my oldest daughter down with my mom. My oldest son, he's on his own already. So I sent her down with my mom, and now I'm like panicking. Like, what am I gonna do? Like 48 hours? I was like, I don't even think I can afford the U-Haul. And so we broke everything down. Like my son and his friend came. They helped us put the stuff in the storage, and they're like, "What are you gonna do?" I'm like, "I have no idea." So I spent 5 or 6 days in hotels, and where it hit me, it was actually 2 years ago today. It was February 20th of 2023, where I get a text from the owner. Now, I've been homeless for a couple of days now. I get a text from the owner saying so and so is coming in at 5:30 tonight to join. No, how are you? Do you need anything? And it was at that moment I was like, this guy has no intentions of paying me, like none. It's like I just split up my kids and I'm bouncing around hotels. And so I swallowed my pride and I texted my mom and I was like, can I come back? And that ended my streak because at the time I was the only kid that didn't move back home. I was the only one.
Oh.
So that streak got busted, but I had to swallow the pride and be like, you got to do what you got to do. And
Mhm.
so I went back home, and then come to find out, mom needed help too. Because like I'm stubborn, like I will hold on to the very end if I think it can work out. And she's stubborn too. She just didn't want to admit that it's nice having an extra set of hands. Because having my daughter down there was a big help for her already. Then
Yeah.
when I got there, I got to do the stuff that dad used to do after he passed. And so there was definitely like 5 years worth of leaves built up out there. Well, maybe three
Oh.
years at the time. It's 5 years now, but just leaves and like wood that had to be moved, things that had to be cleaned up. And so like when I first got there, I just buried myself in work.
Yeah.
And like I paused my podcast because I was like, how can I get up here and talk about all this stuff when I'm living in hell right now? But it was actually when I rebooted it, it's like how the universe works. Like people talk about manifestation and they think it's all just rah rah. But like the very first guest I interviewed told me about a time when she moved from Vancouver, Canada to Hollywood because she wanted to break into that industry. She said, I knocked on every door until I got a yes. And that just hit me. I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
sitting here trying to rack my brain, raking leaves, 5 hours a day. I was like, get out there and just start asking people. And so I just started applying everywhere. I went up to my local high school, started coaching again. Right when because at first I was gonna pivot away from fitness, like I was just gonna go into digital marketing. But then once I started coaching again, it relit the fitness fire. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, this is where I belong. And this gym, well, this is the second location. There's a location down about 20 minutes from here too. And that one's closer to where I live. But I walked into that gym. That was the first one and only one I walked into, hit a home run. So I walked up to the track, got a coaching job, walked into the gym, got hired here. And it was like, I think it was 90 days later, he handed me the keys and he said, do your thing.
Oh.
He's like, I'd be foolish to try to force my way on you when your way is clearly working. He's like, so just, it's yours. He's like, just run it the best way you see fit. And so coming out of that, so now I'm an author. I coach. So that first coaching job I was volunteering. Now I'm the head coach at the local high school in Narragansett. So between coaching, doing the podcast, start a second podcast, and for this year so far, I have 40 speaking gigs lined up. And
Wow.
it was just from that one little sentence that woman shared on my podcast. That was all it took to get me out of that funk and back on the path of where I need to be.
And imagine all the things that you learned and all of that, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it was. I learned so much. Well, now I know life absolutely cannot break me. It absolutely can't. Being told I'd never run a jump again, completely having to revamp everything, getting divorced and becoming a single parent, and while working full time as a restaurant manager, it's like I've been through so much stuff. But like I said, it just taught me that life cannot break me. Like no matter what pops up, I got the blueprint to get through it. Like I call myself now emotionally bulletproof.